Dog Day, a trusted leader of the smiling critters. He spent his days with positivity, always looking at the bright side of things. But one night, Catnap imprisoned Dog Day within the playhouse, subjecting him to torture, removing his legs, and left to rot. After the playhouse's backup generator gets powered on, we're introduced to the amputated Dog Day. The Wicked makers made an incredible Catnap animatronic, so I'm going to challenge myself to make a life-size Dog Day animatronic. I bought a giant sheet of XPS Insulation Foam from my local hardware store. I cut it into 8 2 feet by 2 feet squares.
Nice. 1, 2. Oh yeah.
Then I glued 6 of them together. Here's my dog playing outside. It was a fun sight to see. This was the glue I used for it. I taped a bunch of paper together and traced out the face shape. People may think this is sped up, but I actually do draw this fast. You could also print out a picture of it on a bunch of pieces of paper, but I thought I'd draw it. Then I cut it out and trace it onto the foam. I tried to peel it off to preserve it, but I ended up just ripping it, so oh well. Now I don't have access to any hot wires or special cutting tools, so I just used a saw and a little saw thing. And my cheese grater. Make sure you use protection. I have eyeglasses and a mask and some gloves on. Now enjoy this 45-second montage of me cutting it when it actually took 7 hours. And just like that, with the power editing, I turned 7 hours into like 45 seconds. Now I'm happy with the shape of this. It is way bigger than I thought it was going to be, but it turned out great. But downside, huge mess. But thanks to the power editing, it took me a millisecond to clean it up. I had some scrap pieces of black fabric laying around, so I lined the eyes and the mouth with it. I bought these remote controlled LED lights at Walmart for like $5 and just painted black pupils onto it. I added Velcro to the back of them and inside the sockets so that way I can take them off. I sketched out how I wanted the hands to look. Then I cut them out. I bought a huge sheet of brown fabric at the thrift store for only like $4. I just put random things around me to weigh it down, and then now I'm tracing it with a red marker. Now cut it out and do the same thing again, but mirror it. Now I'm using some armature wire to make a frame for the fingers. I thought I'd try using some fabric fusion to adhere them together, but I didn't read that it takes 2 to 3 hours to fully dry, and I am super impatient, so I just went with hot glue instead. Now put your hand in its hand, if that makes sense, and flip it inside out. And stuff it with a bunch of cotton. But don't be stupid like me and forget to put the wires in. Now here's the hand. It is actually completely posable. Necessary? No. Cool? Oh yeah. You should have seen the look on people's faces with me walking out with 2 big old pool noodles. I'm marking where I want to cut it at, and I'm taking an X-Acto blade and just cutting it around. I bought an insane amount of 9x12 pieces of faux fur. I couldn't find the right color fur anywhere near me, so I went online and bought it. Now I'm hot gluing it onto the pool noodle. It's important to put it on so the hairs are flowing the same way. Now I'm using some extra chopsticks that I had for my plush trap project and just sticking it to the end of the pool noodle. This will help for support when I put the hand on because of the heft. Now I'm just putting on globs of hot glue and sticking it on. I found some black cord at the store for like $1. Now I'm just cutting it into about 2 inches long. This will be the stitches that go from his arm to his hand. Now I'm just hot gluing it in place. Now I'm just dabbing on some black paint for some detail. Now I'm adding on the belts. Wait, let me show you my belts. I bought all these at Value Village for like $1. It was insane. I bought 2 black belts and 4 brown belts. The 2 black ones go on each elbow and the 4 brown ones go on each wrist, the neck, and the waist. Took forever to put these belts on. I don't know how to work a belt. Now you want to do this whole process again so you get 2 4+ feet arms. Use the same light brown faux fur you had for the arms and put them on the face. The thing I like about the faux fur is that the hair overlaps the seams, so it's not really an ugly mess of seams everywhere. Now I'm using some darker brown faux fur for the little eye patch he has. I bought some tannish yellow kind of fur, and this is going to be for the mouth. This process was just as messy as the foam. I am still spitting out hairballs everywhere. Like, there's so much hair everywhere. Now I'm just trimming down the sides, shaving it bit by bit, and hot gluing it into place. Luckily, I had a vacuum on standby so I could suck up all the hair. I sketched out what I want the ears to look like, and I'm cutting the stencil out. I ended up making 2 stencils so that way it can be sandwiched in between the 2 pieces of fabric, so that way it's still wavy but sturdy. I found some fur at Joann's that was similar to the one for the patch on the eye. The reason I didn't use the same one is because it looked like this. Now I'm just tracing it onto the faux fur. And I'm going to cut it out. Do this step again, but mirror it. Then do those 2 steps again, and you get 2 full ears. Now I'm applying some fabric adhesive spray. This is to put the paper stencil I made inside of it, so that way it can still be wavy, but it's sturdy. Do this process for both ears. Then mark and shave where you want to hot glue it onto the head. And then you get something like this. I made a paper stencil of what I want the nose to look like. Then sculpted it using air dry clay. Then after a couple layers of Mod Podge, I'm adding black paint to it. After a couple layers of black paint, I added a shine adhesive to it. He didn't want to go to great clips, so I had to whip out the old shaver and shave away some hair. Now I'm just adding globs of hot glue on there and lightly putting on the nose. As you can see, the eyes are detachable, so I'm just going to put them in there and test it out. It can also do different colors, brightness levels, and even make it flash. I'm laying out all the faux fur sheets I have just to see the body shape. For now, I'm connecting them using duct tape, but later I'll be adhering them together. I'm cutting directly down the middle of the blonde hair patch, and I'll be hot gluing this ginormous zipper I got off of Amazon. Shout out to the Wicked makers who found this. Now I'm cutting a little slit in the brown fur, and then hot gluing it onto the zipper. Now I'm just hot gluing the two ends together. And as you can see, the zipper is fully functional. Now I bought a bunch of cotton, and I'm going to be stuffing it inside the body. I realized that the body kind of slims down towards the waist. He's got that hourglass figure, if you know what I mean. So I'm taking off a little panel and adhering the opposite sides together. None of the belts I bought would fit my boy, so I had to go and buy some brown ribbon and make my own little belt by taking off the buckle of one of the other belts, hot gluing it to the ribbon, and then fit it around him, and then add that little clip in there. To make him an actual animatronic, I bought the swinging mechanism from Spirit Halloween for like 35 bucks. It's a cheaper and easier alternative to having all those animatronic parts to it. Didn't come with batteries, which sucked, so I had to put batteries in there, and as you can see, it started moving on me already. This thing, it just wants to go. My plan is for the back and the head to kind of hunch back and forth like he's squirming. I put a shower curtain rod through the back of his head, and then I'm duct taping the swing mechanism onto it. Instead of using the stick that came with the swing mechanism, I thought I'd use the leftover foam pool noodle, so that way it has more movement to it. To put the other pool noodle to use, I decided to cut down the middle, add fur to it, and use it as the neck. Then I stuck the head and the swinging mechanism into the body, as you can see here. And to turn it on, you unzip it, and you just turn on the button. I folded and hot glued the shoulders in. Now I'm adding the belt to the neck so it's like the collar. I shaved down some fur where I want the arms to be at. Then I added hot glue on there and stuck the arm on. Do that to the other arm as well. Then add that black string to the ends like this. I cut off the hooks from some bungee cords and hot glue them onto some ribbon. I then tied them to each belt. This thing is absolutely massive. It's almost 4.5 feet tall, and I have to get it up there. I don't know if I can do this alone. This thing is huge. I underestimated how big it would be. It's definitely life size. I put them on my little bench I have for my bench press. I don't know. Okay. Move his hand over here. Now I gotta turn him around. So I have him situated like this, not too good. What I'm wanting is him to be up on that black one, not this, the Olympic bar, but the hooks are too small to go inside. They barely fit on the Olympic ones, and they have to go on that one. That one's too big. And I want to see if I can move this red thing up like one or two more. I ended up using the bungee cords that I cut off from the hooks and decided to tie them on there. Hopefully it can hold. It looks kind of ugly because it's a bright orange, but it'll do. One. That's two.